Hey guys, we have this bicycle lighting set, and in this video we want to show you how to install this here in the front and the back of your bike, as well as how to prevent this from breaking relatively quickly, and also on how to charge the batteries and how to make sure they are lasting a very long time. So first let's have a look at what comes here in the package. We have here the taillight in red, then the big headlamp, so that comes a really big battery, so it's lasts a long time and makes a lot of light towards the front. And then we have here the mounting bracket for the handlebar. So this is what we're going to install first. So let's take a close look at this here. So you see there's this little screw here. We first have to completely remove that. And then we squeeze that mounting bracket over the handlebar. But depending on the thickness, the diameter of your handlebar, we have these rubber pieces that kind of work as shock absorbers. And depending on the diameter of your handlebar, you may have to use one of these rubber pieces or two. And they're different thicknesses, different sizes, so you want to choose the right one. And as you see, the handlebar in our case here is relatively thick, so we're going to use only the thinnest piece of rubber, and then we're going to squeeze here the mounting bracket right over that. And when you do this, you have to make sure you install it in the right orientation. You see on the top of the mounting bracket, there's this little arrow, and this arrow is supposed to point towards the front of the bike. And then it's already time to put that screw back in and to start tightening it. But before we tighten it all the way, we have to make sure that we are going to orient here this holder here in the right direction. So you want to make sure that the light doesn't point up into the air or just straight into the ground right in front of you. And in order to do that, we're going to install now the light itself. So we're just going to clip this in here. This is really easy, and we should hear some clicking sound to know that it really is in position. And now we can adjust the right angle for our light. Simply try it the best you can when you're installing this during the daylight, and then don't forget to tighten that screw all the way. And this already completes the installation of our headlamp, and now we just try it out, make sure it works okay. And then during our first ride with the headlamp installed, you want to make sure that it is properly installed and it doesn't wobble around a whole lot. Because if it does move a whole lot, then this area here, this is usually very prone to breakage. So in case when you're riding and the headlamp is just wobbling around, puts a lot of strain onto these plastic parts here, then eventually they are going to break relatively easy. So you want to make sure that really everything is nice and tight and doesn't move around a whole lot. And now that we installed the headlamp, of course, we also want to know how to remove it again when we are parking the bike someplace. And then all we have to do is just pull on this little clip on the bottom and then pull the headlight backwards and pull it out and take it with us. And then reinstalling it is, of course, just as easy. Just push it right towards the front. It will clip into position and it's going to be ready to be used. And now let's have a look at the taillight. And this one is even easier to install. This literally just takes a minute. So you just see this little rubber that you have to unhook here. And then we're going to the back of our bike, put this here around the pole. And then all you have to do is tighten this. Depending on the diameter of the pipe, we're going to adjust this accordingly. And then we can even adjust the angle of the taillight. And then last thing, of course, make sure it's facing towards the back of the bike. And then on the right side, we have here this little black button. So when we push this, the light is supposed to come on. But in this case, you can see that the rechargeable batteries are empty. So this is the perfect time to show you how to recharge those. So let us take a look at the underside of the headlight. And there we find this little rubber cover. And we can peel this off. And underneath, we see two USB ports here. The bigger one, that's one that we can use to actually charge our smartphone with. And the smaller one, that's like a micro USB port in this case. This is the one we are going to use in order to charge the battery of the headlamp itself. And the lights come with this USB cable here. So this is what we use to charge the battery. We just plug this smaller connector, we plug that into the headlight. And then the opposite end, that's pretty much the same as what we have with our smartphones. So this we're going to connect into our charger, into our USB charger. So you can use the same charger that you use your smartphone with. And we're going to just plug this in, and it's going to take a couple of hours for the big headlight to charge. And then we have the same situation here with the tail light. This one also has here on the side, in this case, a little rubber cover. We're going to peel that off as well. And underneath we find the exact same connector, the micro USB connector in this case. And we're going to connect this in the exact same way. So we're going to charge now both batteries. And while both lights are being charged, you can see here on the tail light this red LED on the side. And on the headlamp, you see here where the power button is, this is now illuminated in red. So those lights indicate that the batteries are being charged at this point. And then a couple of hours later, the batteries are fully charged. You can see here the headlamp is now illuminated in green, and for the tail light, the LED, the charging LED, just simply turned off. And now at this point, we can carefully remove the USB charging cables again, and then don't forget to replace those rubber covers, because otherwise, if there's any moisture coming in, that would be bad for the life of our headlights or the tail light. So always remember to cover those back up. Okay, so this was already it for this video. I hope you found the information helpful. If you have any more questions or comments, then please leave a message below.